Well, you are joining us for day 3 of Discovering Deals Week with John Howard, and all this week we are tapping into John's immense knowledge of over 40 years of sourcing property deals. And for this instalment, John's going to be talking to me about sourcing properties at auction. And John, this is a channel that's very close to your heart, isn't it? You've got your book that you've written about sourcing properties at auction, and also you run a training day helping property investors to understand how to buy at auction, because I always say an anagram of auction is caution.
That's very clever. I like that. I should use that in my seminars. We're going to be talking for a few minutes now, and it's a big subject, to be honest with you, and it's so important not to make basic mistakes. The amount of people said to me, I put my hand up at the auction, John, and I bought it, but I didn't have the money to pay for it. I haven't looked at it, and I haven't done the legal pack. I haven't looked at the legal pack, and I'm like, my head are in my hands. It's crazy. It's like Russian roulette. Do not do it. A few real quick basic things, and then we'll talk a bit more. Basic things are: 1, always view the property. 2, find out why that property's on the market. There's a reason. That reason, even if it's a negative reason, it might be good for you, because you might be able to sort that reason out, that problem out, and put it back on at more money. 3, go and see the next door neighbour. The next door neighbour, anything like my mother used to be, nosy next door neighbour, net curtains, they'll know everything about the property. It's probably been on the market for a year or more. It's probably had 3 sales fall through with the agent, and the agent has put it with the auctioneer to sell it. So find out why it's on the market. Then, do not try and read the legal pack. In 40 years, I've never read a legal pack in my life. If you're bright and intelligent, fine. If not, like me, ask a lawyer ask the solicitor to read the legal pack if you're serious about buying, and make sure you've got the money arranged. Because when you stick that hand up, when that hammer comes down, you've got 28 days. Now, quick trick. If you think you need longer, you can talk to the auctioneer and say, you know what, if I'm successful on this bid, may I have 6 weeks? And if they may well talk to the owner before the auction and get permission to let you have 6 weeks. But don't tell anyone else that, because that is really worth knowing about.
I can see that is really worth knowing about. That's a cracking golden nugget tip there, John. You mentioned the auctioneer. Auctioneers they're such a useful resource to property investors. They have so much knowledge. They know all the properties coming into their auction. It's well worth tapping into their thoughts before the auction, and of course building a rapport with them.
Same, like we said the other day, same thing. People say to me, oh John, I can't find a deal. And I go, do you look at any auction catalogues? No. It's too dangerous, I'm too worried about doing it. Which is not a bad thing. Fear is not a bad thing, but you need to overcome it. But you need to overcome it in the right way. So in every catalogue, I don't care whether the market is as hot as hell or is a disastrous market. There is a deal in that catalogue. It's up to you to find that deal. If you miss out on it, be disciplined on your bidding. If you miss out on it, don't worry. If I miss out on a deal, I look at the guy or lady that's bought it and I think, you're not going to buy another one next month. I've still got the money to buy. You haven't. You've bought one. So don't worry about that. If someone sees a better idea than you in a deal, learn from it. Quite often, go up to them and say, congratulations, well done, I was interested. By the way, what are you going to do with it? You might learn something. We all can keep learning. They might say, oh yeah, well, I've realised we can do this. And you think, damn, I didn't see that. So learn from other people's successes and their mistakes. Very briefly, my first auction, I've been buying and selling auction 35 years. I bought Auction House UK in 2008. We had eight licenses. We had then got to 42, and I sold my shares. So my first auction experience was when I was 20 years old. I went to the auction. I was told, wait till the end of the auction in London and buy the last few lots because everyone's gone home. Bought this lot in Walton, Liverpool for £8,000. I thought I was King Kong. Then my solicitor says, have you read the small print in this, John? Because it says you've got to pay all the arrears to the landlord who's just sold it to you. Have I? Went to look at it. basically broken glass, tenant's still in there, shop on the ground floor says to me, I said, well, you owe me rent. They go, no, I don't. I look after the property. If you want rent, I'll walk out and it will be vandalised. Same thing with the first floor flat, same thing with the second floor flat. I rang a friend of mine up and said, come and put some new glass in, paint the windows, this is on a Sunday, take a photograph, which in those days you took the photograph and sent it into the agent, into the auctioneer. I said, put it back in the auction, and we got our money back, and I got my rent arrears I paid back as well. I learnt my lesson. Don't make the same mistakes I made all those years ago.
No, that was actually a relatively inexpensive lesson to learn, but it could have been a lot worse. Yeah. I think it's interesting with auctions because I believe that some problem properties that have quite serious issues, I think they get put into auctions often a long way away from where the property is located, in the hope that some inexperienced person comes along and picks them up without actually understanding what they're buying. So you do need to be very, very careful, and you do need to view the property. Occasionally, and we've had this on Property Tribes, they won't allow a viewing of an auction property, and you have to think why, but it's a bit like that storage container wars where you bid on a storage container and then they hammer open the door and you see what you got.
When you consider that I've bought hundreds of properties at auction and sold hundreds of properties at auction, I still want to get inside to view it. I still want to. So if I want to, everyone else should do as well. And you're absolutely right. If it's in Middlesbrough and it's sold by an auctioneer in London, I sort of want to know why. The success of Auction House UK and the continued success is because we believed if we sell properties regionally in that area where the property is, you get a better price. And that's how Auction House grew to the success it is number one in the UK today. That's how it grew. So why would you then put it in with a London auction? I mean, some people have relationships with certain auctioneers. These auctioneers, again, like we said about the estate agents the other day, get to know them. They need to sell property. They've got a month after the auction to sell it. Now, I know people that only look to buy property, a bit like I do, after the auction. See what hasn't sold. Don't waste your time looking at all the stuff that's going to sell. Look at the ones that haven't sold. But it's all in my seminar. It says a full day, and we could go on all day, Vanessa, to be honest with you, but I do that anyway. So
you look at unsold lots.
Sure, there's lots of different tactics. Buy before, buy after. Lots of different things you can do, and it's very important. And also I love having a property going in an auction on a regular basis because it's great cash flow. Because I get my money in 28 days, and if they don't sell, if they don't complete, I love that because I've got the 10% deposit, and people sometimes don't complete. I can put it back in. I'll make some more money. So I'm happy either way.
No, very good point. I think also auctions are very much like a real-time barometer of the property sector.
That's a really, really good point.
Could go and look at them and see just if prices are dropping.
Yeah, because what happens in the auctions happens first. So it happens before the general market. It goes up and it goes down. So absolutely right. It's a great barometer.
Final question, John. If you had to rate your different channels for sourcing deals, where would auctions come? Do you have a percentage of properties you acquire at auction?
I look to acquire properties after the auctions mainly because of the lack of competition afterwards, and you can renegotiate. And where is the seller going to go? It's probably been on the open market, not sold. It's got problems. Gone into an auction. They've overvalued. They've overpriced it in the auction. Hasn't sold. Where are they going to go from there, Vanessa? Only one place, to me, hopefully.
Well, that's awesome. I could talk much more on this topic, but as John mentioned, he does have his book, How to Buy and Sell Property at Auction, available. We'll put a link under the video. And also, obviously, you've got your whole day course just totally dedicated, and you cover a lot of ground on that training day.
7 hours. We have some fun with it as well.
So 35 years of buying at auction condensed into one day, so you can tap in to John's immense knowledge on this topic. We will put a link below the video as well to the next training day, which we've got some coming up in September.
And may I just quickly say, in the next year or two, buying at auction is going to be so profitable. It's difficult at the moment because the market's hot. But that will change. And buying at auction is one of the ways you can make some serious money.
So it's a big AC strategy after COVID strategy.
Definitely, without question.
Well, you heard it here first. So that concludes today's instalment of Discovering Deals with John Howard. Tomorrow, I'm looking forward to it, John, because tomorrow what we're going to be talking about is knowing when to walk away from a deal.
Very important, a bit like a relationship.
So I hope you'll join us tomorrow. John's going to have some anecdotes and stories for us about when he did and didn't walk away from deals, when perhaps he should have done, and we'll be tapping into more of his knowledge then. So please join myself and John tomorrow for more Discovering Deals content, and we hope to see you there.